So you mentioned you guys are working with zero party data. Can you share a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So zero party data is data that's shared directly and willingly with customers.
And I know for us, a lot of our clients are worried, hey, we don't want to send too many emails. We don't want to irritate people. We don't want them to unsubscribe. And one of the best ways to make sure people don't is that you're sending them relevant messaging. And the way to do that is to segment them like you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've heard, like, I don't know, I think every brand might have a sweet spot in terms of like frequency of emails being sent out. But yeah, exactly like you're saying, it's not too much if they're valuable and interesting and entertaining. But it can be, and you can see this unsubscribe rate spike if they're just irrelevant to me, because you don't know who you're sending to, and you just don't know who you're sending to just because you might not have the data.
Yeah, we had a previous episode with our Klaviyo expert Chris on our team, and we did an A/B test with a pop-up, and one was just, hey, put in your name and email, get a discount or get on the email list. And the other one was, hey, put in your name and email, and also what are you interested in terms of vitamin and supplements? And it was a long list of checkboxes. And the long list of checkboxes got a higher opt-in rate.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Klaviyo has moved a little bit towards this in terms of multi-step opt-in forms. I think that's what they call it. But yeah, what you should do maybe is, okay, like in Klaviyo's backend, you can check back in 30 days, and then you're creating segments on those who took, or how they opted in. Was it the simple opt-in, or was it the more like the multi-step opt-in? And then you can see like, what's the revenue per lead? What's the lifetime value? What's the engagement? And I think maybe that's where you can quantify not only just like the better opt-in rate, but kind of in a dollars and cents way, which is more important to a brand.
Absolutely. This is great context, Gen. Can you also show us Prehook a little bit? What does this look like, just so people can get a sense of
what
would it look like to implement this for their brand?
All right, so we have, this is a Prehook dashboard. I don't necessarily want to get too into the weeds if you don't want to. I think probably more helpful might be at a high level of strategy. But in building this, our focus was to make this as simple as possible in terms of a merchant getting this up and running. So that meant a clean user interface, easy to link products so that you can build out what the recommendation looks like at the end, easy to integrate with our direct integrations, Klaviyo, Omnisend, Attentive, and PostScript. And then also, of course, easy to install on your store. So just dropping a snippet of code, pasting it in. So yeah, I can show you here. We have various quizzes from different customers, but maybe I can just start from scratch and we have a bunch of templates. These are some of the templates that are most common to the niches that find value in a quiz. So it might be clothing or skincare, food and beverage, outdoor activities, and a whole bunch more. Of course, you can start from scratch, and you can customize to meet the look and feel of your brand, which is super important, of course, because you want a seamless experience. And then from here, yeah, you can kind of use conditional logic to further personalize, which is basically if then. If Egan is a man, let's ask questions about men. If Susan is a woman, ask about female-based questions. And then we have two different ending types. One is basically a thank you page, which would be more text-based. And then, or you could just auto redirect to a page on your site. And then the product recommendations, which is where it's easier to convert a customer into or a shopper into a customer. And then, so if we have a product recommendation, one thing I do want to show you is just how you would kind of like how the logic works. So this is kind of like at the end, this is a sample, of course. But if it were here, for example, to link the products and the recommendations are based on a point system. So whatever product has been recommended the most or linked the most throughout the quiz will be recommended at the end. So to build the recommendations, you are, because this is men here, we would just go through, add all the men. So same with all the women. And then, if you had your whole wardrobe or inventory, we would select what would be most relevant for classic or athletic or edgy. And then kind of going through, after you build out the quiz, Of course, you want to send through the data, and these are the direct integrations. And then, like I was saying, you would install it. So there are 4 different ways that you can install it on the page. And then one thing I wanted to show that might be helpful is to see how the data comes through. So again, this might be getting in the weeds, but so this is a demo account. But the data comes through as a custom property and as an event variable. So these are all, so imagine that, I don't know what this is. This is kind of like we didn't add many questions, but
sure. But you could build out flows to send people flows based on what they answered in the quiz, basically.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So the product recommendations come through, if we ask any question, it would come through as a custom property. And then, you'd use this. This is your event variable, your metric. And so you could trigger a flow based on the metric that comes through. And then from there, you can create conditional splits. So say, for example, after the quiz, you want to have a flow that's specific for people who like red and people who like blue and people who like white. And so in that sense, you're really getting like very narrowly targeting on your flows. You can kind of use Klaviyo's dynamic personalization to insert some of these placeholders. So you're essentially like saying, hey, Egan, this was your recommended product. And it would just be, like product recommendation 1. So you would get one email based on your recommendations. I would get a completely different email, but it's from the same flow. And that's the beauty of personalizations. You're building once and you're scaling infinitely.
Love it. Love it. Anything else you want to show us? Otherwise, I want to ask you about kind of the results that clients or customers see when they implement this.
Yeah, sure. I can show you like a few examples. Spikeball is using our quiz.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's coming to summertime. And so you'll probably see Spikeball around a lot. And so this is more of like trying to simplify the buying process and also learn about their customers. So like, who are you shopping for? This is if you are
how much
buying it as a gift and like experience. And so they go through a whole bunch of questions. So that on the back end, they can really get an idea of who they are marketing to. And then another interesting use case that we didn't mention, and I don't think the Spikeball is using it, but other brands do, is to do product research. So, if you have a lot of volume, you can really learn a lot about your customers. Like, let's say, for example, it's a candy bar or a health bar company, and you're maybe there are 3 different flavors that you're potentially thinking of making, and you can gauge demand for each. I didn't show you the data on the back end, but it's kind of like, it's very structured data, so it's easy to export, analyze, manipulate. Mm-hmm. And then we have a different use case is brevity, which is a backpack. So this is a style finder, and again in the same. That's a different quiz. Looks like maybe they changed it, but it's not even live. And then Joy. This is kind of like food brand. So for different use cases, like to learn more about a nut butter, like people don't know how to use it. And if we talk about like,
can we click through this one? I just want to see it.
Oh yeah, sure.
So what's your gender? Okay. What diets do you associate with? This is good. Oh, what's your main interest? I like this. So you have images with the options. What's your main interest? Reducing waste, better nutrition, saving money, explore new recipes, or convenience.
Of course, that's great. Spoken through it.
What's your age with some ranges? Okay, good.
Demographic stuff.
Okay. Are certified organic products very important to you? Yes or no? Good one. And what are you looking for? Again, with the images, we got starter kits, try it, bulk purchase, explore other clean label products. Cool. Okay. How much plant milk does your house go through? Do you currently use plant milk? Is that like, that's like not cow milk? Is that what that means?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, I think it's to identify like if they're using it or not.
How do you currently use plant milk, sweetened or unsweetened? And okay, before we share your results, please share your email. There you go.
Yeah. So they're capturing an email and an SMS. And then they recommend the product. And then so you can click on view product, go directly to the page, to the product description page. They remove the add to cart, but you can directly add to cart and then check out.
You can do that too. I'm glad we stepped through that. That was beautiful.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And then, we're talking results, like where you can see an impact. T-Elixir is one brand that's doing a lot with the quiz. It's an adaptogen brand. So basically, adaptogens have been around for hundreds, thousands of years, but the modern consumer isn't necessarily familiar with a mushroom-based tea.
Something like lion's mane I see on there, reishi mushroom.
Yeah, lion's mane, reishi. So,
yeah.
Like what health concern are we trying to solve? What flavors do you like? What problems do you have? And so these are the type of data points they're gathering. At the end, they're recommending a product. And had a conversation with Daniel Whitechurch, who is a co-founder. And so after using it for a long time, they're seeing $10 average order value. I'm actually not sure of what their AOV is, but I imagine it might be $30, $40, $50. So it's a significant increase.
That's an increase on AOV based on personalization.
Totally. Their conversion rate increased 35%. Their email opt-ins have 2x, and their dollars per lead have 5x. So they've played a lot. They optimize a lot, but their homepage at the hero image had the quiz. They have it on the header nav. Let's see if they have it on there. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's on the hero. Oh, it's on the homepage here. And then I believe it might be on the footer. But yeah, they've done a lot with it.
Can you scroll up to that one above again for a second? That you just showed me in the middle of the page.
Oh yeah.
They're using this as a call to action. Take the quiz. What does the headline say? Right for you. Okay. Personalized superfoods, right for you. Our 3-minute quiz will help you find the most suitable products to address your biggest health concerns. Take the quiz. So this is a major call to action on their homepage. This is how they're driving people in, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're seeing 2x opt-in rate, which we talked about an opt-in with a discount. I guess they are doing 10% off your order.
Right.
But ideally, I mean, would you rather get a lead and then the first email is a discount, or the first email is an email relevant to what you're interested in? If you're the brand, you'd ideally not want to send a discount right away. So I would think that getting people into the quiz is their priority.
Love it. Anything else you want to show us? Otherwise you can stop sharing and we can wrap up here again.
No, I mean, that I think, there's, I could talk for hours. It could be, some of the like other examples or analytics, but yeah, one thing I should mention is that we do track revenue generated from the quiz. And I mean, it might be a 5, 7, 10x because we're a pure play SaaS. So it's, month to month, no commitments, and it's a relatively low price point. So brands are getting a lot of mileage out of getting people in the quiz, asking a few questions, getting in a lead, and then recommending a product.
A couple that are not related to brands, but I'm just sort of curious about, you have a lot of experience in this space. How do you recognize a SaaS opportunity in the e-commerce space?
Yeah, that's a good question. So this was kind of like out of my personal experience. At Jungle Scout, like I was saying, I was working as a consultant on onboarding for B2B SaaS. And just to know what problem you're solving for was something that I was focused on in the onboarding phase. So Jungle Scout is a wide-ranging tool. So it's everyone from people who are interested in selling on Amazon but haven't quite started yet, all the way through to very successful 7-8-figure sellers. So the range of content is going to be very different, what their needs are, what their interests are. And so that challenge kind of like applied to an e-commerce brand, where if you're an adaptogen brand, what are you solving for? Who is the customer? What are they looking for? With just a few questions, you can really like shed a lot of light on how you should approach that.
Mm-hmm. It strikes me that this is kind of in the world of what we might call conversational marketing, and could even be a sort of alternative to live chat where it's more automated.
Exactly. Totally.
That's great. And I'm curious also, would you ever look at, WooCommerce or the other platforms, or are you guys sticking as a Shopify app?
We are focused on Shopify. That we feel like there is a lot there in terms of like where most of the momentum and the brands are, as well as the third party apps and kind of like the ecosystem of software to support sellers. Not that WooCommerce and BigCommerce don't have like big sellers, because they do, but just for us, we are a lean bootstrap team. And so that's where our focus is.
Love it. Well, there's just so much, information. There's so much industry knowledge compact in here and what you're doing very tightly. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Where can people find more out about you? I know you have a podcast, and then you've got this SaaS app as well.
Yeah, totally. So our homepage is prehook.com. Feel free to email me, gen@prehook.com. Happy to answer any questions or talk through a quiz strategy or anything else we discuss here. And then, on Twitter, Gen Furukawa.
Again, thank you for sharing what's working in e-commerce.
Likewise, Egan, thanks so much.